I'm gonna start with some drama today. Uh, Russell Westbrook and Stephen A. got into exchange the other day. Stephen A. basically was saying that Russell Westbrook isn't a champion. Well, everything he does doesn't mean anything if he doesn't finish with a championship in his career. Russell replied that in his life he's a champion because he escaped from poverty, was working to go to college. He made it to NBA, he's an all-star, $100 million in career earnings. So, how do y'all feel about this back and forth, and who are you siding with? I guess.
I'll take grips on this. So he's not a champion.
Off the back, huh?
He's not a champion. It's great that where he came from to where he got to. Like that's amazing. He's definitely been a success story, from his background and neighborhood to a certain extent. But in a basketball sense, which is what Stephen A. was referring to, he's not a champion. I don't think he'll ever be a champion personally. And yeah, like I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Like I understand what Russell was saying. But from a basketball standpoint, he's not a champion. He doesn't have a ring. He's been the reason that his team didn't win a ring, I feel, a couple times. And yeah, like I agree with Stephen A. He's not a champ, and he needs to win. He has to win a ring, which I don't see coming for his like legacy to kind of be set in stone. So that's kind of where I'm at.
How you feel, AC?
I agree. I could not elaborate any more that Larry has said. So, like Larry said, I see what Russell is saying. Yes, you made it out the hood, whatever. You achieve certain goals and individual goals for yourself, but as far as team wise and NBA, you are not a champion. That is not to throw shade in anything, but it's just the truth until it's proven otherwise.
So I think we all agree that, but in a literal sense, he's not a champion. Yes. So like, y'all feel like that means the same as it used to, because they just see getting a championship is just agreeing to come off the bench for another team that's contending. So it's like, does that championship stamp even mean as much on a player's legacy? Because it's not the same as Charles Barkley and Karl Malone. You talk about Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard. They're literally playing against super teams. Well, not Russell Westbrook, but Damian Lillard, for example, is literally playing against super teams and is choosing to go out swinging, I guess. So do we look at it different than a Dennis Schroeder if he gets a championship?
So I think when you get into that kind of level, like when you take it a few levels down, of course, if Dennis Schroeder has a championship and Russell doesn't, that means nothing that Dennis Schroeder is better than Russell Westbrook. Right. I think when we speak on championships, Blake Griffin winning a championship in Brooklyn still wouldn't make him a better player than Russell Westbrook not winning a championship. I think when it comes to Russell Westbrook, I think we've seen, yes, he's been explosive. He's had amazing years, but he's also coughed up, some potential championship opportunities. So that is what's hurting Russell. It's not like he got there and it was just overwhelming. A lot of times it was Russell Westbrook being Russell Westbrook and, being the reason why the team did not make it further or go to compete for a title. Yeah, he's been playing against tough teams, but Russell deciding to stay on his team, and it's not like he stayed on one team and, didn't get there. He was on OKC and, he got close, but he moved to Houston. So it's not like he was going down swinging in the sense that I'm staying here like Damian Lillard is. Like Russell moved on to try to get get into position to win a championship, and those didn't work out. Not that he was the main factor as to why it didn't work out, but it didn't work out. He too was playing with James Harden. He too was playing with Kevin Durant. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's played with these dudes that are now forming super teams. He's been on teams with them, and they weren't able to pull it off. So
like Russell's priority going forward should be winning a championship as far as like how he positions himself. Maybe that's
definitely. But even so, he's done that before, and it didn't work out because of who he was. and how he decided to play the game. Now, I don't want to say every game he was just playing ridiculous because he's had amazing games, but for the most part, Russell gets in his own way, and gets in the team's way, in my perspective, as to why he doesn't have a ring yet. So
yeah,
it's fair stuff.
Hey, I agree. I agree.
Because last night he did have a 35, 21, 14 game. So it's more of the same of Russell. Maybe he's not understanding exactly what people meaning. Because like you said before, like the ego gets in the way of you really receiving a message sometimes. Because I get why he would feel that way, but that's not what, like you said, that's not what Stephen A is exactly referring to.
I'm sure Stephen is like considers not a champion, but is very happy for him, as where he came from and where he is now. But in a basketball sense, you're not a champion. Like, that's strict. And when you're on that level, when you have 3 years of triple doubles?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. About 3 years of triple doubles. Like, that looks nice, but what have you shown with it? What does that come for? If James Harden never wins a ring, we're going to be talking about that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be like, yeah, you did all this, but what did it really amount to? That's why Chuck, Charles Barkley is kind of looked at the same way and almost not forgotten, but it's like you were that dude, but at the same time, you didn't win a ring. Like, sometimes with some people, it's like, just give us one. Like Melo, we're gonna be looking at Melo kind of like, yo, you got 6 Olympic gold medals, but what did you do for us in the NBA? You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be some legend to it, but at the same time, when it comes down to, yo, where's your ring? If you don't have one to pull up to the table, that's gonna be a knock against you. So that's where I'm at with Russell, but I'm also not the biggest Russell Westbrook fan as we all know.
That's gonna actually shut his ass down. Every time Shaq and Charles Barkley get into it or something, bro, what does Shaq bring up? I got rings. I got rings. Shut that shit down, bro.
And he was the reason why he got those rings. It wasn't like it was other. Yeah, he had Kobe and other people, but Shaq was the reason why they got them rings. Right. He got his rings. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, that's good. So a lot of teams trying to make some changes, I guess,